YouTube, what is going on? It is Nether back again, and today we're going over a little guide thing that I saw the other day on Reddit. It is obviously you can read. It's the ultimate investment guide for NIKKE. This is the second version. I actually have not seen the first version, but with new characters constantly being introduced and constantly power creeping other units, it is good to just stay more up to date with the more recent guides like this and in those aspects. So up here you can see we have a little legend here in parentheses. We'll give right here, for example, we have the numbers, the little hashes. Each hash represents a little skill and a burst effect. So obviously skill 1, skill 2, burst effect. This is what they recommend. We have the color coordinating images here. We have yellow for the baseline investment, so that's more for the newer to average player. We have the blue, which is for end game goal investment. Obviously that is where you want your characters to be. We have the overload specifications. That is for overload equipment, where you just overload a specific gear, enabling your unit to get more stats, more damage, more of all of that. And then we have the cube specifications. Cubes, boosting certain effects, certain stats of units. So that's what we have here. That's what the legend is. And then it's designed mainly for union raids, campaigns, solo raid, and then PvP. So mainly the union raid and campaign is what it's mainly looking at, which I think is pretty good. I think is the ideal thing to do in NIKKE. You want to focus on those two first, and then the solo raid, and then PvP, because in regards to PvP, their rewards aren't super spectacular, so you don't really need to worry about that. So here we have the tier 0 meta characters. They are game defining overtuned characters who are very unlikely to be power crept or replaced. Obviously, we have the bunnies. We have the two new schoolgirls, something that I have said that they are very good, and I've seen people say they're not, and that they are over. People are over. They're putting them up in this echelon where they shouldn't be. They're tier 0. They're freaking amazing characters when they're together. That's just it. Get over it. I'm talking to that one specific person. I'm just kidding. We got Litter, obviously, very good unit. We have Novel, we have Senti, Alice, and then Pilgrim units, and then Summer, Honest, and then we have the Bastion Cube and the Resilience Cube. Very good items, and then very, very good units. My own personal opinion for the T0 characters, I think, quite honestly, I think you can actually put Dorothy in this tier 0, because some characters you might not have, and you have Dorothy. Dorothy easily slots into a tier 0 aspect. That's my own personal opinion. You can hate it, disagree with it. That's fine. Whatever. No big deal. For supports, we got Blanc, Litter, Noir, Tia, and Naga. So here you can see that for the supports, the first two, you don't need cubes and you don't need overload equipment, which I think is okay. For Blanc, looks like we got 4, 4, 10. Obviously, they're stating that Blanc needs to be with Noir to get her cooldown all the way down. Otherwise, it sucks because you have to wait. I agree with that. So, basically, it double Blanc works in co-op if nobody has a good Noir for some reason. Yeah, I agree. But, you want Blanc with Noir. That kind of makes the bunnies top tier. That's just how it is. Litter, obviously, she is a stupid strong attack buffer. One of the reasons why she is in tier 0 since the moment she came out, she's very good. Novel, I actually have not used Novel a whole lot, but here's where we start getting to, you want the Bastion Cube, and you want 1 to 2 ammo overload equipments. You want the max ammo to help the stack upkeep. So that's basically it for Novel. Still is very good support though. Tia and Naga. Here it says for Naga at least that you want her paired up exclusively with Tia. This is what I said before. Tia, you really want her with Naga as well because they do complement one another. But you also want a DPS who can take advantage of the core buff, so it's commenting here. Alice, Snow White, or Maxwell. Tannis, Scarlet, 2B, A2 don't hit cores as well on all the bosses. I agree with that. And Midoriya does not want to burst. You want that consistent string of attacks. So if you have a different burst 3 character for instead of Midoriya, or instead of using the burst for Midoriya, I would say do that. We go down to DPS now, and it looks like we got Noir, Alice, Modernia, Maxwell, Snow White, Scarlet, and Summer Honest. Okay, so Noir. She's a hybrid of the DPS and support. It looks like they want the Bastion Cube and 4 overloads. I would assume it would be for... Oh, okay, so max ammo, attack, hit rate, and elemental is strong. I was just going to say you want the max ammo and you want the attack mainly. Hit rate is also good. You want her paired up with Blanc. She doesn't need to be, as stated, and that's true. She doesn't need to be. If you have Noir and no Blanc, shouldn't feel upset about that because Blanc is good, but Noir can still do a lot on her own. Usually they're paired up with each other because they benefit from one another. Alice here, you want her absolutely maxed, to be honest. She wants to be paired up with Tia and Naga to abuse the piercing core hits. That is very true because she does output a lot of damage. But as you can see here, you want the first and the burst skill at completely maxed 10. And typically you want as many dupes into her as possible because further increases the damage output. She's and I would want to put in parentheses a little pay to win. But, if you don't have a bunch of dupes in her, but as long as you have the skill and the burst effect all the way up, I would say that's very good. Modernia, she is a very hyper offensive unit. But you don't really want to use the burst of Modernia, only in campaign, I would say. But in terms of hyper offensive, Modernia is also very good. Maxwell, her same thing. The first and the burst you want maxed out all the way to enable you to get the damage output. So, theoretical DPS. You want to pair up with D, and you can finish the simulation room in seconds. Yeah, Maxwell is very good with damage. Snow White, obviously very, very strong. But you only want to max out her burst and then a little bit on her skill 2. Because her max, she switches from her machine gun, or assault rifle into like a sniper-esque kind of weapon. It's okay, but there are better DPSs. That's not saying she's bad. She's also very good. So if you have her, prioritize this setup here. Scarlet is freaking strong. Her skill 2 is a waste. I agree. Her burst, you only want level 5. If you want to increase it more, that's fine, but it isn't really necessary as stated here. But she is one of the best PvP characters in the game. I agree with that. But Scarlet just does a stupid amount of damage, and you want the element and increased ammo because she actually goes through her ammo very quickly. Summer Honest is very, very strong. She's a support, but she is a DPS unit. You want to avoid heavy ammo because Honest wants to get down to her last bullet. That's just how she puts out super amount of damage. Her best partner is Privity. So this is the setup you want to go for. So once you get to endgame, you do want everything maxed out, and you want 4 overload equipments. And the damage, the power cap, so 1.5. There's a large power gap in NIKKE, so no units are considered tier 1. So what, we just got tier 0 and then tier 1.5. I don't know about that. These units here are very good as well. I don't have Summer Mary, so I have no idea. I know Volume is very good. Yeah, she's very like Dorothy, like I said. I still consider her tier 0 because of just how much she's able to do. They say they don't hear, which I really agree. 2B is a very good unit, but like stated here, she's better in longer fights because she enables you to just be a little more resilient and a little more tanky. But she's also able to output a lot of damage. So as the fight prolongs, she gets better. Tier 2, we got Drake, Privity, Guillotine, Helm. That is regular Helm, not Summer Helm. Summer Helm's trash compared to regular Helm. Mast, A2, Marcinia, Rapunzel, and Quincy. So here I agree with. I don't really care for Drake too much, to be honest. She's a mid game carry unit, yeah, but she's not that great. Privity, if you have Summer Honest, I would say make her a priority if that's your main DPS unit. Guillotine is okay. Helm's okay. I don't know. It is kind of true. I do think A2 is very good, and Marcinia I actually think is very, very good if you need a good, strong healer and don't have a whole lot. Rapunzel, obviously, she's very good. So, and she shares Marcinia, so they heal together, which is very nice. So, honestly, now at this point, you can just see Soul is no longer considered relevant, and Academy is no longer considered relevant, and then we got some centric. So, as you can see here, I mean, this is a I think, very accurate depiction of a bunch of these units. Like I said before, I think Dorothy could still be considered tier 0. Yes, she's a Pilgrim unit. Yes, it's hard to get Pilgrim units, but I still think Dorothy is very, very strong. Tia and Naga, I feel very happy and vindicated in that they are in this tier 0. Granted, this is one person's opinion. I don't know if they have actual statistical evidence to back this up, but I do think Tia and Naga are very, very strong. Somewhat of a quick video, I guess. I was kind of just like, I saw this, and I'm like, I gotta make a video on this, but essentially, if you have any of these units for like a burst 1, 2, and 3, and you can slot other stuff in, I would say you have a very good, strong team. But that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you all within the next video.